Let's go. Consider me a big shot. What up to Stevie? Mimi, Scrap, yo. I'm on my love and hip hop. Yeah, so solid, it flows through my body. And if you got it, love, I'm told that's where God is. I'm Tyrone Dickens. Whenever love is given to be pragmatic, I'm just an addict for your love. I got a habit. How my problems disappear when love's connected. I never wanna take back an hour, minute, or second. What a blessing. Love ain't proud, it ain't rude. Love, it rejoices in telling the truth. Love is so patient, kind, it doesn't envy. Love your friends, love your enemies. I hope this love sink in. Got love for my neighbor, agape phileo. Let me be more convincing. Maybe you can dive in and exegete or censor, dissect the scripture where Bishop we show love. Or if you a sinner, transgender like Bruce Jenner, well, Caitlyn, we show more love. We use basic math, don't subtract, divide it. God can take one love, then add or multiply it. Don't wanna swear by it. I promise if you don't have love, your life will be full of the opposite. And that's a big mistake. You trying to demonstrate all love in sync like Justin Timberlake. And that's a big mistake. You trying to demonstrate all love in sync like Justin Timberlake. If it cost $1 million, or if it was free, I love you, you love me. Let's put love together. Love scene, love scene, love scene, love scene.
Hey. What's going on, you guys? It's Thursday here in the DFW. This is Brother Darrell McGriff with another episode of Love Sync Ministries Love Sessions. All right. Okay, you know how we do this now. Also, I just want to let y'all know I appreciate y'all those that subscribed on YouTube so far. Make sure you keep that up. Like I said, once we get to the 100th subscription, because we just kind of started this, we're going to give that 100 subscriber $100. Then the rest of y'all saying, well, why should we be penalized for making that person the 100 subscriber so they can get the money? So I said, oh, it's like that, huh? So I'm going to give $1. No, I'm just kidding. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and run the random generator on YouTube. So that means anybody from 1 to 99, you can win $100 too. So that's $100 for you and $100 for the 100 subscriber. So y'all make sure y'all jump on YouTube, do the subscriptions, leave comments, share, and all that kind of stuff. And then on Facebook, do the same thing: like, love, share, comment, all that good stuff. And we always see her get my lips together. They ain't working today on Thursday. So as we always say here is 1 John 4:8. He that loveth not does not know God, because God is love. And we make sure that you truly believe that, hope that, and get that in your spirit, because without God, then what do we have? So today I'm going to bring on a guy that's been helping me out for the longest. You might have heard him down at the radio stations and stuff like that at the Sports Radio 1310, The Ticket. So ladies and gentlemen, with no further ado, put your hands together for my main man, Donnie Dew. And Donnie has a special guest with him, and that's the missus. Last time I had him out, she ain't do no talking.
How you doing, man?
Hey, man, everything is great. Everything is great. Y'all gonna have to scoot in, scoot over.
You scoot in.
Yeah, there you go. So, man, what's been going on with you guys?
Not a whole lot, just trying to stay safe throughout this whole pandemic. We're blessed to continue to be able to work. Twiggy's working from home. My wife's working from home. I'm going into the studio here for the last 5-6 months or something like that. But yeah, just trying to stay safe, man, and get through this whole thing. That's about it.
All right, good. So let me do like I do everybody else. I'm gonna hit you up with my 5 quick questions right quick, so both of y'all can answer it. Whoever wants to go first. So the first question is, so far, what would be your favorite decade to live in?
Favorite decade.
So far, because we ain't done living yet. But so far.
No, we're not done yet.
So far.
I would probably say the 90s
I would say the 90s too.
because you had a few significant things that happened in the 90s. Graduated from college,
Yep.
started working at the jobs full time. We got married in the 90s. You just kind of start, I guess exactly where you want to be around that time because we're both born in the early 70s. So around 20, 21 to 30 is those years that you kind of, get that direction to see what you want to be and where you want to go in life. So give me the 90s.
I would say I found myself in the 90s. Yeah.
Okay.
You started to get your groove, you got out of school, you started to, I'm not gonna say make some money, but you felt like, you had a job and you were going somewhere. So the 90s.
Okay, cool. All right, then what country would you guys like to visit?
Oh, we've been blessed to do a ton of traveling.
Yeah.
So we've been to a few really, really cool places. I think I would say the place that I haven't been, where she has been, is Australia. So maybe a trip to Australia for me, maybe in the works. She's already visited, I haven't. So we've. I think that's it for me. I don't know about you.
I used to say South Africa, but South Africa is off my bucket list. I've actually gone to go. So, that's a good question because I've actually gone to all the places that I think I wanted to go. So maybe somewhere like, oh man, that's a good one.
We'll come back to you and let you think about it a little bit.
Okay, thank you.
And what was your nickname growing up?
Oh, I still have it. My nickname is Twiggy.
Okay.
I guess it's just Donnie. My dad called me Donnie Doo, and that's what they call me there on the radio station now.
Right.
But it's just Donnie, Main Donovan, Donnie. That's it.
Okay, I got you.
I can tell you a couple more, but I feel that this is a Christian program, so I can't reveal the other nicknames that I've had in school. So.
All right. Hey, you didn't have to go. You didn't have to fight behind those, did you?
Sometimes you have to do a little something, but no, we're good.
All right. You could be all three. You could pick two, or you could pick one. What's your favorite song, singer, or group?
Okay, I go first. My favorite song is September by Earth, Wind, and Fire.
Mm-hmm.
His favorite group is Cameo.
Okay.
Yeah.
I know that for sure. What was the other one? It was
song.
What was the other one?
It was a song, singer, or group.
Singer. She's always loved Whitney Houston. I don't know if that's still the same, but when we first got together, it was all about Whitney Houston. You couldn't say a bad thing about her. So I'm going to say Whitney Houston for her.
Okay.
I don't know about me. I know the favorite group is Cameo.
Okay.
But that's a good one. I don't know what my favorite song is. I love all my old school songs so much that it's hard for me to pick one.
Okay. All right. So did you find out what country you want to visit yet?
I want to say somewhere, it's a European, so I would say maybe like Switzerland.
Okay, that ain't bad. That's not bad at all.
Yeah, I've never heard that from her before.
Yeah,
All
that's something different. I would say something like somewhere like Switzerland.
Okay, she's trying to get that chocolate. I ain't mad at her. All right, now here's where we get to the nitty gritty here right now. So I know we talked. I had you a few things, so I know that means y'all consider yourself walking in faith and walking with God and all that good stuff. Is that true?
Absolutely. Yes.
All right. So what I ask all my people then, when did you first get saved? But then when did you really start taking the word serious? Because there's a difference.
It definitely is a difference. Yeah. Growing up, going to church, my family is huge. We went to church every single Sunday. I don't remember exactly when I first got baptized, and we would go to a lot of, vacation Bible school and all that. So I knew how seriously my family took it, being around my grandparents a lot, especially my grandmother. And we knew how deep in faith she walked, and that just passed on with the family. But taking it seriously, I don't want to get in here and sound like a heathen or anything, but it was kind of, I think when you really start taking it seriously for me is when I joined my wife when she was going to New Birth, and we were going to separate churches when we first got married. And then I kind of just stopped going to church. And then once I said, you know what, to be the head of this household, I've got to be in church and go to church with her so we can share our faith together. I think that's when I started taking it pretty seriously. And I think that was around 2004, something like that. Something like that is like, okay, you know what? I've got to, make sure that we got to get things going and be serious. And but no, I think being serious is something that is a little subjective, because I have a feeling she's going to say she's been taking it pretty seriously for a long time, and she has, and I have too, because I've believed in all that other stuff. There's no doubt about it. But when I started really just, kind of keeping my head forward and trying to live and, walk and do all that stuff in the steps is pretty much when we started going to church together, knowing that I was the head of the household and we had to do things like that.
Okay. All right, man.
So for me, I got baptized when I was like around 8 or 9, but I got saved in college. So I knew him during that time, but in college, you have things that you go through or whatever. And I had some good people around me or whatever. So I would say, and I joined a good group in college or whatever. And so I would say I got saved and rededicated my life to God when I was in college. And so that started my walk to progress to be closer to him. Now, you go off the path or whatever, but that was a progression of starting to get back to the things that you know that you're supposed to be living and how you want to live your life, is that I would say in college.
Yeah, and the reason I ask that, because most of the guests that come on, and when I ask them that, most of them right around that, for some reason, either got saved or baptized in that 18, 19 range. Then, like I said, then it wasn't until they started going through things, and I guess experiencing things, and then some of them in their late 20s and late 30s, then that's when they started taking the word serious and say, no, I got to live this thing instead of all that, still going to the club, still drinking, still doing this, still messing around, still doing this. And it's like, now I got to let this thing go and really get with God and start walking this path righteous. And so it's always in between that time so far. It might have been maybe 1 or 2 people that said it's been like that that's all they remember being. And one of those was my cousin, and I know that because I know how we live back down there in Tyler, and they didn't play. When you was born, you was born saved, and you don't. Hey, it's like the game. The only way you get out is if you die. So that's why I always ask that, because like you said, we know when you either get saved or baptized that young, you really don't know nothing yet. You know what I'm saying? Because again, that's the whole part of this love session, because God is love. And at that time, nobody is really teaching us about how God loves us. You may hear somebody say that in a sermon, but they're not really telling you and teaching you that God truly loves you, so you can believe and understand and get that and say, God really loves me. He loves me, that he would do this for me, or God would do this for me, or watch over me and all the kind. And we don't really understand it. You just get baptized, you go to church every Sunday, and you just follow the routine. And that's why when stuff comes up against us in those ages when we're young, then that's why we either fall back or go back to what we normally do or what we used to do, or just try new stuff altogether and just don't even think about the church whatsoever. But then after all that, it finally hits you and you're like, you know something? Let me get on this church thing. Right. So now y'all don't have any kids yet, right? No. Okay. So now, Donnie, since you now started walking that love thing, or walking with God, now how long y'all been married?
It will be 25 years in April.
Okay. So now when you was doing what you was doing until the point where you say, okay, I got to take this thing serious. So how now, as a man of faith, that you see the difference with you then and now?
I think that you, especially when it's just being us here for the last 25 years, it's one of those when you have things going on in the house or in our relationship, or I'm not saying she's taking me more seriously now than she was before, but knowing that, you know, we're on this same, I guess, plane as far as our faith and our path and all that stuff will make us, um, you know, do things, I guess, on more on one accord. Because now we know, you know, when she would go to church and I'm at home watching football or something like that, and some issue comes around, and you know, if I want to put my hand down or whatever, it's like, what are you talking about, dude? Chill out on all that. But I think it's improved our relationship because we are going through, we're learning together, we're you know, talking to each other about all the things that's going on. So that's helped us in our relationship together, as far as, you know, communicating and knowing that we're on that same walk, we're on that same path, and all that. So I just think, uh, I don't know if it comes with, I think when you say both age and faith, it kind of helps out as far as you getting things done and solving your problems and knowing where to lean and who to go to and all that stuff. And I think all that stuff has helped out when, you know that, you know who's the Almighty and you know who you can lean on. And when you go through troubled times, that we both know that not only can we lean on each other, but, we ultimately lean on our faith for sure.
Okay. So now, ma'am, I'm gonna ask you the question that I haven't had a chance to ask anybody yet. But since you were basically going to church without him and he's staying home and all that kind of stuff, so now I'm asking you, what change did you see from your perspective in him then and now?
I knew that he was a Christian, and I knew that it was in him, but we are all human and we can just fall from things that we were brought up to know and things that were in us. And I remember going to my pastor saying, I don't understand. I know he knows the word. I know that God is in him. I just don't understand why he doesn't want to come to church, or what was I doing? I question myself as a wife. What am I doing that why my husband doesn't want to go to church with me? And my pastor just said, we're going to pray for him. Because I was feeling guilty. I was like, I don't want God to punish me for him not going, because I knew he was a good man. I knew he had faith. I knew he had in him. My pastor just said, we're going to pray. God is going to make that turn in him, that he is not going to just see you leave the house on Sunday, that he's going to join you. He said, we're going to pray that prayer together. He said, I truly believe, I know it's going to happen. He said, don't you feel that God is going to punish you or feel ill will towards you because your husband is not going to church with you. He said, the church is just the building. I truly believe, he said, I did your marriage counseling. I know you guys are equally yoked, because I would have never married you if you weren't. He said, people just get stuck in their ways. So we're going to pray about that. So I just left it alone and went on, because he can say, I used to ask him every Sunday, or the day before, I'm like, you going to church with me? And he would say, no. You going to church with me? And I stopped asking because I just let it go. I was like, we're just going to pray about it. And then on his own, one weekend, on his own, he's like, are you going to church tomorrow? What service are you going to? Whatever. And I was like, I was going to, because we had two services, and I told him what service I was going to. And he was like, oh, well, do you mind going to the early service? I'll go to service with you. I was like, okay, if that's what it is, I will go to early service. And when I tell you, I didn't go to I changed my service. I actually started going to early service, because if that's what persuaded him to go to church with me, to go to early service, I did. And my pastor was like, he kind of said something, said to him like, see, prayer. He said he knew it was there. So we prayed about that, and he was like, see, the Lord will answer your prayers, because he knew of Dom, that he knew the man I was married to, because he knew him and he had seen him. So he's just like, you just have to let things work out.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So that made me think about another thing. So Donovan, so as she's going to church, like you said, you know, you've been to church, you got the word in you. So all the time she was going to church and you knowing this and you know why she's going. So how did you feel when she's getting up going on Sunday and you just sitting there?
You have some guilty feeling, and then you know when she left, it's like, man, I should have gone, and then you know you just kind of just don't think about it. But I, uh, I, I, I don't know if it was just a period I needed to go through or whatnot, just to get my head together or whatnot. But yeah, we talk about it every now and then we just came to the conclusion, like, okay, you know what? It's enough of this. I know exactly what's right and wrong. And you know what? I had some of my other family members, my mom and my aunts, who have been in church forever, and they would you know say the same thing. Now you know you need to be going to church. I was like, I know, I know, I know. And then you know, it's like, okay, you know, let's get it done. So I don't know if I was just, you know, if I had to go through whatever I was going through, and then I felt guilty about seeing her, you know, going and doing what she was supposed to do. And plus, I think a few of those fellas at that church didn't realize she was married, so I had to go and, you know, let them know what was happening.
You had to represent. You had to go fly.
Right. Like, look, don't get this twisted now.
But one thing I did say that I wasn't going to do, I wasn't going to, because it really upset me to the point, like I said, I just went to talk to my pastor about it, but I wasn't going to let it drive a wedge between us, because I knew he knew better. And I was like, you know what? In time, he'll do the right thing. I wasn't gonna, because I used to, he would tell you, I used to pester him about it. And like, I used to get mad. Right. But I was like, okay, this is my husband. I love him, but I'm going to continue to keep going. I'm going to continue to do the right thing. He will eventually do what he needs to do. Because I knew he knew. He right. just was, you know, going through his season. Like he was just going through whatever. So. And when it comes to that, and that's, even if the roles were switched, it makes no difference who was going first or what's going on. One thing I seem to do is when they say like let go and let God, because one thing is God is the one that made us. God knows us better than our spouse and anybody else. So when we're pestering somebody and annoying somebody and getting on their nerves to do something that we know that they know better, it seems like that pushes them further back. But like you said, once you let go and let God, you're like, hey, I ain't worried about it no more. Hey, I got my walk. I got to do what God called me to do. It's up to him. That's his walk with God. You know what I'm saying? As soon as you let that go and let God, then like you said, watch God work. And it seems like that happens every time. And I guess that's what some marriages, people need to learn in their marriages. Don't annoy or bug or pester the other person about doing something. All you do is do what God called you to do. So you be the love that God called you to be. And as the Bible says, you just come home and show him love. You ain't got to pester and bug him about nothing. Just show him love, aka God, and do your thing and let God work on him. You ain't got to pester him another day in your life, and they'll do it on their own. Happens all the time. So yeah. So now, have you heard the term, I love her more today than I did when we first got married?
Mm-hmm.
So what would that mean to you, Donnie?
Oh, there's no question about that. It's been a few instances to where I almost felt like early on in my career in radio, when you're not just making a lot of money, that I wasn't taking care of my household, and that I wasn't being a man of my house because I just wasn't making it. But she knew that this was my absolute dream and this is what I wanted to do. And she went out and got a second job because when we first got married, we needed to pay the bills, and she knew that this is what I wanted to do. And if I would have done anything else, then I probably wouldn't have been very happy about that. So she has stuck beside me this whole entire time, as far as me trying to figure out what I wanted to do work-wise and just everything else. But there's no question about that. It grows leaps and bounds every single day, because I think we are better people right now than we were when we first got married. And I think it's because of each other that we are better people. And yeah, no, that's not even a question. I tell her that quite a few times, even right now. Like the place where we are right now, I love the journey that we took because we took it together, and it was bumpy as heck sometimes. But I knew I looked to the side and she was right there, and that's all that mattered. So I'm not saying we've made it, but we have definitely improved where we were when we first got married, and that's because of the drive, I think, and determination of the both of us. So we've hung in there, man. It's been solid and great.
Okay. And what you say, ma'am?
This is my best friend. I start with that first. That's my best friend. There is not anyone else in the world that I would want to take this journey with. Like you said, our story is tremendous. We have gone from 0 to whatever, but there is not anyone else I think that would have been suited to take this journey with me. To have the understanding when we say we have each other's back, we really, I mean, that's my ride or die. I mean, there's nothing that I wouldn't do or go through without him. I know that for parents, you want someone to be able to provide for your child. And when he asked my parents, could he marry me? My parents was like, we just want you to love our child and provide. And I know that at the end of the day, this is my provider. If no one else has my heart, I'm sorry, I'm getting choked up. If no one else has my heart, this one has my heart, that there's not a shadow of doubt or nothing that he wouldn't do for me. This is my sole provider. In this heart and mind, I am first. And so, God's first, but
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah, he has my heart and mind. He has my best interest. There's not anything that I know that he wouldn't do for me.
It's funny because you talk a lot of people and you hear a lot of people when they get married or whatever, and they talk about they change and things change. And I don't think we've changed since the day we met, because we still laugh and joke. I think it was the other night. I can't remember what we were watching, but we saw something and we laughed for like 20 straight minutes about what we saw on television the other night. And it's just like, it's who we are and it's who we've been ever since we've decided that we were going to start dating and get closer and get to know each other and get married. So that's the one thing I love about it, because,
Silly.
Yeah. We've gotten older. We've gotten more responsible as adults and all that, but we are still the exact same personalities that we had when we first started dating. So I love that about us and her, because she allows me to be maybe the silliest person in the whole wide world, and she just rolls right with me, and that's what it's all about.
So I know you have, I know we've had, you have friends that, they get married, and anywhere between, nowadays, 61 to 2 years, they're already divorced. So what do you think happened with them? And like I said, they're your friends, you knew them, so you're like, well, what happened? So when it happens like that, and like I said, we're sitting here saying, hey, I love you more today than I did when we first got married. And like you said, that's 25 years ago. So why do you think some other couples couldn't have that same thing?
It's different things for different people, but I think some people think that once they say I do, then maybe that person will change. Maybe they'll have some habits that they had about them before they got married. And then, okay, you know what, we'll get married, they'll change and everything will be okay. And that's usually not the way things happen like that. And, growing apart and hey, things are different when you get married. They really are. But it's about knowing who you're with and adapting to those situations. And a lot of people kind of give up on it pretty easily, even when they have those hard times. It gets bumpy. You want to change the shocks and get the heck out the car, but sometimes you ride that bumpiness out a little bit and you just don't realize that there's a smooth road ahead, and you grow and you learn from all those circumstances and situations that happen. So I'm not saying everyone shouldn't get divorced, because there are times where it just can't be salvaged and it can't be helped, and I get it. Right. But just one little instance or sense of problems, I don't think everyone should just give up on what you thought at one time would be a lifetime commitment.
Right. People don't want to put the work in. Like we say, we have a running joke. We say, like, marriage is not People say it's year to year, day to day, whatever. We say no. Marriage is minute to minute, second to second. You are working on it at all times. It ain't no you work on it year to year. No. You working on your marriage every second of the day. It is something that you have to work at. It's not defined by when you work on that every month or whatever. No. It's down to the second that you're always working on your marriage. You have to put the work in. It ain't gonna be like I tell people, I love him. I love him to death, but there's some days I don't like him, and I know he don't like me. That's the human part. We don't like each other every day, but that's where you put in the work, because this is the man I made a commitment to. I love him, so I'm not going anywhere. So I got to put in the work.
Exactly, and I think and another thing about it is that what people don't understand is, like you said, you love him, but you might not like him every day. He might not like you every day. But the bottom line is the love part. And that's the whole deal. When you see the love, like as the word would say, a love covers a multitude of sins. So your love for one another, your I want you, you want me, I'll do anything for you, you do anything for me. That right there overrides all the pettiness, all the little dumb arguments, the selfish arguments. The love is the thing that holds everything together. And like I said, when you have gone 25 years with somebody, if you've gone 20 years, 15, 10, and you're still there, the reason you can love somebody more today than you did then, because then you didn't even know if that person is going to ride with you that long. Exactly. But now when you look in the car today and they still beside you, and like you said, you done had to change the tires a couple times, the shock, the engine might have blew out, everything went wrong, but y'all still riding together. That's how you know that that person loves you, because no matter what went on, they're still riding with you. And that's how you know it's real love and not that other crazy mess that they be running with out there. So, but yeah, so what do you guys, well, let me do this, because I know Donnie from the radio station. So how with the radio station, and even if you're on your job, because a lot of times we don't work for faith-based businesses all the time and all that kind of stuff. And I know listening to the Ticket and a lot of these other sports radio stations, when you go to work and I know no matter where you go, when I even was doing car sales at Toyota back in the day, it hurts. Once people find out that you're a Christian and you truly trying to walk your walk, that's when they start messing with you. Sure. Hey, come go to the strip club, come do this, come do that. So Donnie, how did you maintain working with all those heathens? No, I'm just joking. So how do you maintain, your faith walk when you know people are trying to pull you and have you do things that that ain't right? So how do you maintain yourself?
It's tough at times, and you have to try to think about the circumstances of everything you do. It's, you're not going to walk that straight path every single time, but you do understand, or you try to get with people and tell them. I think if they're truly your friends, they understand what you're all about and what your walk is. And they may try to take you so you can toe the line a little bit. But if you say, hey, man, that's not me, I don't want to do that. And then they'll understand that. They're not going to say, oh, man, come on now, but so things like that. I normally don't worry about peer pressure. It's not the one that just takes me down or anything like that. And I know what I'm doing. And if it's some things that shouldn't be done or I don't want to do, I just won't do it. It doesn't bother me a bit if someone calls me any kind of name because I'm not doing anything. But I think, you improve on all those things with age and wisdom. When you're younger, you'll do whatever. You're just wild. You want to have a good time. But the older you get, the more you realize that there are consequences to everything that you may do. And being somewhat of a public figure, then that can heighten it a little bit. So we just, you just try to fight the good fight, have a little fun, and remember what you got to roll home to.
There you go. So now, I know there oh man, it's crazy. I know that you had to deal with him dealing with them. So because I remember, I say that funny thing. I remember when he did the toilet bowl trick thing on you.
Why you got to bring that up? This is we're having fun around here now.
That's what that. Hey, but it's the real deal. So see, him being around them doing crazy stuff like that. How did you maintain your faith, knowing he was probably gonna end up doing something crazy, acting crazy with them?
Well, I'm not gonna say that I was necessarily faith-based that day. So
I think she was more black-based that day.
Because we had to have a come to Jesus meeting.
I will tell you this. I don't want to interrupt her, but she is such a great sport, knowing what comes with being on the radio a lot, and it being kind of a public job. And you talk about it's just so different from any other radio station where you kind of let people in on your everyday life and they connect with you. And that's a really, really cool thing. And that's why a lot of our listeners feel that they really know us and they feel that they're friends with us. And that's great. But on the other hand, there are times where I'm pretty sure, and I know that there are things that don't need to be said on the radio, whether I know it myself or she'll say, hey, we ain't talking about this
Just
on the
don't
air.
leave our
Right.
address.
It's like, okay, yeah, of course. I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't jeopardize what we have just to get a laugh or two on the radio or something like that. But she's incredible at that because she didn't ask for any of this. She didn't ask to be talked about on the radio all the time. And that's just a lot of things that we do. And that's part of the job. And she's pretty much rolled with that 100%. And I don't think a lot of people would have been down with that, knowing that a lot of their lives is out there to be consumed by a whole lot of strangers. So that's something that we've talked about a little bit here, but she realizes that that kind of comes with the territory of being married to me, and she's rolled with that. Really, it's been great. Seriously.
All right, that's good. That's good. So who on your job or who's out there been whispered in your ear saying, Donnie don't deserve you, Hey,
Nobody.
Somebody trying to bump somebody trying to bump your buggy at the grocery store,
Because it's funny because some of them just say in my job listen or whatever, listen to him. So it's been time I'm like, oh, so we talked about so-and-so today. And it's like, man, tell your coworkers stop
snitching. Tell them to stop snitching and enjoy the program. Sometimes I got to try to sneak in a couple of things,
Oh, man, that's crazy. That's crazy. Well, hey, we about to run out of this good old time. Y'all got any last words for the people out there?
No, we really appreciate you asking us to do this. It's it's funny because we have 25 years in April, and you get married not expecting to be with one person for 25 years, and then all of a sudden 25 years is here, and it's like, whoa, okay. But it's been incredible, and like she said earlier, nobody in the world I'd want to be in this ride with than her doing the things that we're doing, and she deserves every bit of everything that I can try to give to her. So this is every single day. It's great. It's a blessing. It's just seriously, we just don't argue or fight or anything like that because it's just no need. We know who we are and we know what we want to accomplish and we know where we want to go. So with all those common goals in mind, it's just living life and having fun. And then that's exactly what we're doing.
Okay. Well, hey, I would like all the other couples to know that look at these couples. Let me put y'all up there one more time. Let me hide. Okay. I just wanted them to look at you one more time because you guys been to the couple of the meetings, especially the meetings that we had, with the couples, like I said, had you guys come speak. So next time everything open back up and we do it again, somebody else is gonna talk a little bit more than they did last time. So we ain't gonna mention no names. But
You know it's not me. You know we're not talking about me. I talk way too much.
but the thing is, I just want everybody to understand that, as we say, God is love. And if you truly build your relationship with God in love and let him love on you, and you love yourself the same way God loves you. And when we're talking about love, we're talking about you, Donnie, you love your wife. So it's all about her. And your wife is looking at you and said, Donnie, it's all about you. So if both of you are always doing that for one another, then it's like the Bible says, the Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. If you both are you love each other enough to always look out for the other one, then neither one of you should want for anything, because the other one is always trying to fulfill your needs because they love you.
Right.
And when you do that, then you'll find your disagreements, your arguments, your pettiness, everything that people go through, you know, like their little learning stages, because we weren't following the true love of God or true God at that time, or AK love at that time. We were learning how to. But once you truly learn how to love one another and you take self out of it, then that's when you can have 25 years, still be joking, still be laughing and having fun with one another.
That's the truth.
That's true.
Preach on, preacher.
Well, you know, I do what I can. I put my little dime in there every now and then. Oh man, but hey, I enjoyed talking to you guys, having you on. Like I said, once everything clear up, we have to do something again. So,
Absolutely.
ladies and gentlemen, cats and dogs, you guys put your hands together for the 25-year-old couple, the Lewis.
Yeah.
Hey, brother, y'all take care, man.
All right, thank you, man. Good talking to you.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that was the Lewis. And you see, they're a lovely couple. They've been together 25 years. I know a lot of y'all wish y'all can make 25, but if you hang in there and do like we say, like the scripture says, 1 John 4:8, he that loveth not. So that means if you don't show love, then you don't know God, because God is love. So please get that in your spirit so you can walk in that thing. All right. So like I said, y'all, Facebook right now, comment, like, throw some hearts on there, share the video with some other people, subscribe. Well, not subscribe on YouTube, but I mean on Facebook, but you know what to do on the Facebook side. Then on the YouTube side, make sure you go over there, you subscribe, you like, you share, you do all that stuff, Facebook. Cause like I said, we're trying to monetize this thing so we can start giving the money that we make from this and give it away to you. So y'all make sure y'all do that. So until next time, this has been Brother Darryl McGriff with Love Sync Ministries, Love Sessions. So you guys take it either. Matter of fact, check me. Tomorrow's Friday. I got 3 interviews Saturday, noon, 2, and at 4. We putting them in. So y'all get in on it also. So check out the flyers. I'll put them out there for you guys. But again, till next time, you guys continuously to walk in love on a constant and consistent basis, because you might be the only love anybody gets a chance to see. So be blessed, stay safe, social distance. Till next time. Y'all walk in love.